Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone, to Morning Flow. We'll get going in about 4 minutes, and we'll see you real soon. All right. Welcome to Morning Flow. I'm joined this morning by Kathy, per usual. You're here for the whole class today, right? Awesome. So 7:15 to 8:15. We try to do it every week. If we don't, forgive us. But anyway, yeah. So let's get going. So finding your feet, either challenging your balance, big toes touch heels slightly apart, or working a wider stance, really up to you. Finding a place where you're comfortable. From your feet, finding your legs. From your legs, finding your spine. I'll invite you to relax your shoulders as you bring your hands to your heart. A light press of your thumb against your sternum as we line up each finger. A slight tuck of the chin as we start to bring our attention inward. And we can start just by watching our breath as it flows in and as it flows out, arriving here in our yoga space, ready for a morning yoga practice. From this place of just watching your breath, I invite you to shape your breath as you find a long, slow inhalation, matched by a long, slow exhalation. As you breathe in, I'll invite you to find a full body breath, bringing the air to the top of the chest, the base of the belly, filling up each side waist, filling up both front and back planes of your bodies. And as you breathe out, I'll encourage you to draw the low belly in and up to squeeze a little more air out, also providing structural support with that abdominal engagement as you breathe. To this deeper, fuller breath, moving towards the Ujjayi or ocean breath, a slight constriction of the base of your throat to add a slight sound and feel to your breath. And as we flow through our practice this morning, letting the sound and feel of your breath be a focus for your practice. Always coming back to that sound and feel, often compared to the sound and feel of the ocean as the waves wash in and as the waves wash out. To this deeper, fuller breath, moving towards the Ujjayi, to this deeper, fuller breath, to this Ujjayi breath, moving 2 more details here, finding the tongue loop, so tip of the tongue to the hard palate just behind the teeth, trying to keep that connection throughout the practice, keeping our jaws relaxed and connecting front and back planes of our bodies. And finally, with your lips closed, adding a slight smile to your face, opening up the front of your throat so your breath has lots of room to circulate, refresh, and revitalize. Keeping all this, hands by our side. Warming up our shoulders as we inhale the arms up and over the head. Exhaling, arms back down. 2 more times like this, breathing arms up. Exhaling, arms down. Breathing arms up. Exhaling, arms down. Adding a forward fold, inhaling arms up. Exhaling, leading with the heart as we fold. Take a breath to find length as we lift chin and tail. On the exhale, arcing the back as we fold again. Inhaling, neutral spine, back of the head in line with the sacrum as we hinge on up, arms up and over the head. Exhaling, standing tall. 2 more times like this. Inhaling up. Exhaling over. Take a breath to find length. Exhaling, folding again. Inhaling, right in the breath up. Exhaling, standing tall. 1 more to go. Breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Inhaling up. Exhaling, standing tall. Surya Namaskar A, with or without vinyasa. Vinyasa just means connected movement. Inhaling up. Exhaling over. Take a breath to find length. And then breathing out either back to down dog and holding or cycling through yoga push-up. Inhaling into cobra, hips stay down, or pulling into your up dog as you lift the hips. And then exhaling back to down dog and holding. Maybe choosing all fours. Maybe you also choose, or instead you might choose a child's pose. Again, vinyasa is just connected movement. One of my favorite vinyasas is not chaturanga, up dog, and then down dog. I'll just pull forward to plank pose, hold that for a couple of breaths, and then draw it back. Sometimes my shoulders don't want as many push-ups, so also feeling free to make that same choice. From down dog, long smooth breath in. Long smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, looking between your hands as you step, or maybe take a jump front. Take a breath to find length when you arrive. On the exhale, fold. Inhaling, right in the breath up, arms up and over the head. Exhaling, standing tall. Second one just like the first. Inhaling up. Exhaling over. Take a breath to find length. And then breathing out, back to down dog as you will. Either stretching straight back or cycling through your vinyasa. And that could be the very traditional chaturanga. Into the back bend, cobra or up dog, and then back to down dog. Or maybe you find your down dog, then you find a plank pose, hold that for a couple of breaths, and then stretch it on back. And maybe you come up with something else. Vinyasa is just connected movement through space as we move with grace. From down dog, long smooth breath in. Long smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, looking between your hands as you step or take a jump front. Take a breath to find length. Exhaling, fold. Inhaling, hands over head pose. Exhaling, standing tall. Let's do one more Surya Namaskar. We'll add a heat generating sequence into the mix if you choose. Inhaling up, exhaling over. Take a breath to find length, and then breathing out back to down dog as you will. Deep full breaths. We'll try a little experiment here. We'll see if it works. Hopefully I don't disconnect everything. Anyway, can you all see that sunrise coming up? Oop, not yet. You just looked at my neighbor's house. The sun should be over there. Anyway, and that's why they're called suncells. It's a beautiful time of day to do this kind of work. Anyway, back to the yoga. Enough sightseeing. From down dog, long smooth breath in. Long smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, looking between your hands as you step. Oh, actually, let's add that heat generating sequence into the mix. I'll allow you to inhale forward to plank pose and then draw it back to down dog. Inhaling forward to plank. Exhaling, drawing it back. This last one I'll invite you to hold. Inhaling forward to plank. Exhale and hold. Inhale and hold. Exhale and hold. One more half breath. Breath in. And breath out as we draw it back up to down dog. Deep full breaths. From down dog, long smooth breath in. Long smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, looking between your hands as you step. Or take a jump run. Here comes that sun. Take a breath to find length. Exhaling, folding. Inhaling right into breath up. Exhaling, standing tall. So Namaskar B. It starts with a chair, knees over toes, hands overhead. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up, just like the sun. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to find length, and then breathing out, back to down dog as you will, either cycling through vinyasa or just stretching straight back. Awesome. When you're ready to continue with Surya Namaskar B, from the child, not from the child's pose, from the down dog shape, big toes touch, heels slightly apart, finding a three-legged dog, right leg high to the sky, high on the left toes, and then looking between the hands, sweeping that right foot on through, spinning the back heel down, finding your warrior one, arms up and over the head. And then on the exhale, finding your low lunge as you spin back heel up, and from low lunge back to down dog as you will. Again, take your time, find your flow. From the down dog shape, when you're ready, finding your second side, big toes touch, heels slightly apart, left leg high to the sky, high on the right toes. Looking between the hands as you sweep that left foot on through, spinning the back heel down, arms up and over the head, and then on the exhale, back to low lunge, and then back to down dog, as you will. Deep full breaths. I'm going to move the lamp. It's casting a shadow, and I'm also going to make it a little less bright here. From down dog, long smooth breath in. Long smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, looking between your hands as you step. Or take a jump front. Take a breath to find length. Exhaling, folding. On the inhale, stay low. We'll come to our chair pose, knees over toes, hands overhead. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up. On the exhale, neutral spine. Let's do one more Surya Namaskar B. Inhaling into our chair. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to find length. And then breathing out, back to down dog, as you will. Take your time. From down dog, big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Finding a three-legged dog, right leg high, high on the left toes. Without overly disturbing the shoulders, lifted leg straight as you stack the hips. Now bending that top leg, opening up that hip. And then looking between the hands, sweeping that right foot on through, spinning the back heel down, arms up and over the head for our warrior one. And then on the exhale, back to low lunge. And from low lunge, back to down dog as you will. And again, take your time, find your flow. From down dog, finding that second side, big toes touch, heels slightly apart, left leg high to the sky, high on the right toes. Without overly disturbing the shoulders, lifted leg straight as you stack the hips. Now bending that top leg, opening up that hip. And then looking between the hands as you sweep that left foot on through. Spinning the back heel down, back leg long, back leg strong. Inhaling up. And then exhaling back to low lunge. And from low lunge, back to down dog. As you take your time, find your flow. Whatever pose you choose, coming back to an even breath and watching that breath as it flows in and out. From down dog, long smooth breath in, long smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, looking between your hands as you step or take a jump from. Take a breath to find length. Exhaling, fold. On the inhale, finding your chair pose, knees over toes, hands overhead. Exhaling, taking it lower, more strength in our legs. Inhaling, rising on up. On the exhale, neutral spine. I'll allow you to bring your hands to your heart, either keeping a light press of your palms as your weight gathers in your feet, or adding an isometric engagement as we press those palms together, elbows out to the side, shoulders engaged. I'll allow you to tuck tail and chin as we connect with strength in our center. And hands by our side. From here, let's step or jump our feet hip width apart. Hands find the back of the hips, so the fingers face downward, supporting our low back here, as we circle our hips for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We'll take it the other way for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Back to center. An invisible set of hands keeps our hips steady. Actual hands, bird beak fingers, so 4 fingers on the tip of the thumb, find the shoulders. And we'll circle our shoulder girdle for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We'll take it the other way for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Back to center, arms in the air like you either do or don't care. We'll take hips one way, shoulders go the other for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We'll take it the other way for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Back to center. Hands by our side. Let's jump it in. Thin like a pin. Finding our chair pose. Knees over toes, hands overhead. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to find length. And then breathing out. Back to down dog as you will. Either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back. Deep full breaths. From down dog, flow style, big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Right leg high to the sky, high on the left toes. Now stacking the hips, lifted leg straight. Now bending that top leg, opening up that hip. And then we have an option here to flip the dog if you choose. You choose to do that, Kathy?
Not today.
Not today, okay. So otherwise, if you're not flipping the dog, just stay where you are. Those of you that flip the dog, back up, right leg high, and then looking between the hands. As you sweep that right foot on through, spinning the left heel down, arms up and over the head for our warrior one. In our warrior one, I'll invite you to bring hands back to the hips as we shift weight onto the front foot to scoot that back foot back, more length in our stance, more stretch in our legs. Classically, we have heel to heel alignment, squaring the hips front. We can bring those bird beaks onto our shoulders to remind those shoulders to relax, and also squaring the heart front. From here, finding a clasp of the fingers behind the head, pressing the head into the hands, open heart, open throat, elbows wide, 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 and then stretching those hands high to the sky. Straightening the front leg without locking the knee, breathing in as we gather up the energy, exhaling as we offer it out in this letter W shape. Let's do 6 of these. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. We got 3 more to go. Breathing in, breathing out. The last 2. Breathing in, breathing out. The last 1. Breathing in, breathing out in, holding. I'll invite you to bring the elbows back, the hands come with. I'll invite you to wiggle those fingers, keeping our hands supple. From here, turning warrior 1 into warrior 2 as hands find the heart. We open up the hips, might kick the back foot in just a tad. Classically, it's heel to arch alignment. And then finding one long arm, looking out over those front fingers with a steady yet relaxed gaze. From here, painting rainbows, palm faces back, breathing in, again, not locking that knee. Exhaling warrior 2. And we'll do 6 of these. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. We got 3 more to go. Breathing in, breathing out. Last 2, breathing in, breathing out. Last 1, we'll hold as we reach up a little higher. That bottom hand goes down a little further, more stretch in those ribs. Breathing into that stretch. And then back to warrior 2. From here, finding a rainbow warrior, a clasp of the fingers behind the back, shoulder blades back and down onto rib shelf, and then leading with the heart as we fold inside the front leg. As we draw the shoulders up and back towards the hips, I'll invite you to relax the neck and heavy the head. Deep, full breaths. As we hold the shape, I'll invite you to add a little swing, a little sway, releasing tension in the neck and shoulders, and then letting that tension drain down through the crown of the head, into the earth. In our rainbow warrior, I'll suggest a strong tuck of the chin as you bring it on up, coming back to our warrior 2. Transitioning to triangle, thumb and forefinger find crease of hip and base of rib, deepening that crease, lengthening those ribs. Grounding bottom hand down, again, not locking the knee, straight but not straight, bent but not bent. Setting that top shoulder, stretching hand high, either looking down to the ground, off to the side, or up to the sky, with that steady yet relaxed gaze. As we hold the triangle with every breath in, breathing into your center of balance, 3 fingers below your navel. Every time you breathe out, sending that energy out through 2 arms, 2 legs, both ends of the spine, as you make yourself bigger in space from the inside out. Now exploring that lateral top line as we exhale that top hand front, turning our heart to the floor. Inhaling, lifting hand high as we spin heart to sky. And let's do 6 of these. Exhale and inhale. Exhale and inhale. Halfway done. Exhale and inhale. Last 2. Exhale and inhale. Last 1. We'll hold as we reach, pushing into that back foot, long through the leg, the torso, the arm, the fingers. Now bottom hand joins. We take that twist out of the torso, pure side motion. We breathe 2 hands up and exhale it over. 2 hands up. Exhale it over. We'll do 6, breathing it up. Exhale it over. Breathing it up. Exhale it over. Last 1 coming up. Up. Over and hold as we reach. And I invite you to wiggle those fingers. And then either back to your triangle or playing with your half moon as hand finds the hip. We step the back foot in. Right hand well off to the right as we set a nice wide base. Lifting back leg. Setting the shoulder, stretching hand high, either looking down to the ground, off to the side, or up. past those top fingers with that steady yet relaxed gaze. Deep, full breaths. And again, it's a wonderful sight to see a half moon, to see that sun rising through the window. To come down from the half moon, no worries at all. If you lifted the hand, it comes back to the hips. We ground back foot. We shift the weight into the feet as we come back to our warrior two. You might lengthen your stance a little bit by shifting back foot back. And from our warrior two, I'll suggest a big swim of the arms as we find low lunge, spinning back heel up, and then back to down dog as you will, either cycling through vinyasa, stretching straight back, or maybe sneaking in another shape instead, always balancing your effort with your ease. Deep, full breaths. If you really think about it, believe the process of respiration, the big muscle is the diaphragm, but you've got lots of other muscles that help out. So just connecting with your breath, you're also exercising from the inside out. Moving towards our second side when you're ready. I'll give you another breath just to get back on top of the horse. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Left leg high to the sky, high on the right toes. Lifted leg straight as we stack the hips. Now bending that top leg, opening up that hip. And for you chargers out there that want to flip the dog, you'd turn it on over, big toe down. You'd spin hard up to the sky. If you know the routine, go for it. I'll give you a little bit of time. Otherwise, just hanging out in your three-legged dog with that bent front leg, opening up that left hip. Those of you that flip the dog, coming back to your three-legged dog, and then everybody sweeping that left foot on through as we spin the back heel down, finding our warrior one, arms up and over the head. In warrior one, I'll invite you to bring hands back to the hips as we lengthen our stance. And if you're already super long, you don't have to do that. But usually I go a little short and I want a little more stretch in my legs. We can use our hands to steer our hips front. We can bring bird beak fingers onto our shoulders to relax the shoulders and steer the heart front. Finding the unusual clasp of the fingers as we walk the fingers one over. Pressing head into the hands, open heart, open throat, elbows wide, wide, wide. And then stretching those hands high to the sky. Breathing in as we gather up the energy. Exhaling as we offer it out. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. We got 3 more to go. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last 2. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last 1. Breathing in. Breathing out in, holding for a big breath into your heart. Elbows move back, the hands come with. You might wiggle those fingers. Enjoy the stretch, open heart, open throat. Little lift of the chin. And then turning warrior one into warrior two as hands find the heart. We open up the hips. We might kick the back foot in just a tad. And then finding that one long arm, looking out over those front fingers with that mixture of effort and ease. Painting rainbows. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. We got 3 more to go. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last 2. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last 1. Breathing in. Breathing out. Finding your warrior 2. And actually we held that last one. So let's do 1 more. And we'll hold as we reach, 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 reach. Feel the stretch. Enjoy the stretch. Breathing into the stretch. And now back to our warrior 2. From here, finding that unusual clasp of the fingers behind the back, shoulder blades back and down onto rib shelf. And then leading with the heart as we fold inside that front leg. As we draw the shoulders up and back towards the hips. Relax the neck and heavy the head. I'll invite you to add a little swing, a little sway, like wiggling a key in a lock, getting that lock to spring open. And then long through all sides of the neck, try to relax the neck if you can, Kathy, without losing your balance. And letting any tension in the neck and shoulders just drain down to the crown of your head into the earth. Can you get any lift at all, or more stretch in the shoulders? It's okay if you don't. Nice. Try to relax that neck even more if you can. From the forward fold, a strong tuck of the chin. So you really want to tuck that chin. Try to find the sternal notch. Let the shoulders lead the way as you bring it on up. Now lifting the chin tall through the crown, ears in line with shoulders, and then finding your warrior two. In our warrior two, transitioning to triangle, thumb and forefinger find crease of hip and base of rib, deepening that crease, lengthening those ribs, grounding bottom hand down. We can set that top shoulder. We can stretch that hand high, either looking down off to the side or up to the sky. Again, in our triangle, finding your center of balance as you breathe in, as the diaphragm stretches down towards the navel. As you breathe out, sending energy out into space as the diaphragm domes up to the heart. And again, there's lots of other muscles involved in our respiration, exercising those with a very focused and concentrated breath. Giving our lungs and our heart a nice massage, massaging our bodies from the inside out with our breath. Now exploring that lateral top line as we exhale that top hand front, turning heart to the floor, inhaling, lifting hand high as we spin heart to sky. And we'll do 6. Exhale and inhale. Exhale and inhale. We got 3 more to go. Exhale and inhale. Last 2. Exhale and inhale. Last 1. We'll hold as we reach, pushing into that back foot, long through the leg, the torso, the arm, the fingers. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Now the bottom hand joins. We take that quarter twist out of the torso, pure side motion. We breathe 2 hands up and exhale it over. Breathing it up. Exhale it over. Inhale it up. Exhale it over. We're halfway done. Breathing it up. Exhale it over. Up. And over. Last 1 coming up. Up. Over and hold as we reach. I'll invite you to wiggle those fingers. And we have options. Either back to our triangle or the half moon, the triangle on 1 foot. Hand finds the hip. We step the back foot in. Left hand well off the base. I like a nice wide base here so I can lean back into the shape without falling over. Setting the base, lifting the legs, setting the shoulders, stretching hand high, maybe looking up to the sky. And again, breathing into your center of balance. And from that place, power place, getting bigger in space from the inside out. Nice. And I like you've got nice knee to toe alignment. Having said that, to do that, you're going to not have the hip perfectly sized. You compromise a little bit there, and I'm holding you up here way too long. We're going to come down with grace and control, landing that back foot, shifting the weight into the feet. Nice. Finding your warrior two, and again, that landing sometimes shortens the stance, so you might shift that foot back for your warrior two. And then that big swim of the arms as we find our low lunge, and from low lunge back to down dog as you will. Again, if you've done enough push-ups, feel free to leave them out. Might also be a nice time to sneak in that child's pose, just kind of coming back to that internal focus, just watching as you breathe. We work hard in yoga, but you don't want to work so hard that we chase away the joy from the practice, the joy of moving in the morning. Whether you're in down dog or child's pose, 2 excellent places to breathe into your back, using our breath to find a little more freedom, a little more space in our spines. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, looking between your hands as you step or take a jump front. Take a breath to find length when you arrive. Stay low. On the exhale, fold in. On the inhale, we'll come back to our chair pose, knees over toes, hands overhead. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling like a jack in the box, rising on up. Exhaling, neutral spine. I'll invite you to bring hands to heart, coming back to that internal focus, a slight tuck of the chin. either keeping a light press of the palms or adding that isometric engagement. A third option might be to entangle the fingers. Heels of the hands stay together, but we try to pull the hands apart. And then whatever version you've chosen, hands by our side. So let's do a little shoulder therapy here. Here's a fun one here. So again, if you did clasp the fingers, you'll do it again. Otherwise, clasping the fingers. We'll pretend our left hand is an elevator. And we're going to elevate right hand up. Right arm does no work at all. And then elevates right back down. Left hand's the elevator. It elevates it back down. Let's do one more. Left hand's the elevator. Let's hold it. Just seeing how that right shoulder feels this morning without any effort. Just trying to relax it. And then keeping right shoulder and right arm super passive. We'll elevate back down. Switching the clasp of the fingers. Now the right hand's going to be an elevator. As we explore our left shoulder, we elevate up and we elevate down. We elevate up. We elevate down. We'll hold this last one. Right elevates left on up. Keeping left shoulder relaxed. Just putting your mind in that shoulder. How's it feel this morning? And then keeping that left shoulder relaxed as we elevate it back down. Releasing the clasp of the fingers, hands by our side. So let's move into a warrior three shape, and then we'll work into a twisted sequence. We'll sneak in the swan pose. So anyway, hands on our hips. Let's soften the right knee, and let's take a little step back with our left foot. I'll say, let me go sideways here. Coming up onto the toes as we lift the heel. This is my easy warrior three entrance. So this could be your warrior three. Otherwise, we start to shift the weight into that front leg. Back foot gets light. Tap that toe down. We can keep the knees bent. Bent knees are always better for balance. Challenging that balance as we move towards extension. Back foot is flexed in this pose. From here, maybe lifting left hip up just a little bit. We don't want to sit in that right hip so much. We can stretch our hands back towards our back foot. We can find eagle arms out to the side. Classically, the arms stretch in front. Wherever your hands went, when you're ready, I invite you to bring them back to the hips. We can soften the knee of the standing leg, and we can take a step back for a short warrior one. From here, shifting weight onto front foot. We'll find a little more length in our warrior one. We can use those hands to steer our hips. Bird beak fingers find the shoulders to steer their heart front. Finding a clasp of the fingers, pressing head into hands, open heart, open throat. And now finding a tray in front. Breathing in as we gather energy into our center of balance. On the exhale as we offer it out. And we'll do 6. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. We got 3 more to go. Breathing in, breathing out. Last 2, breathing in, breathing out. Last 1, breathing in, breathing out and holding. Elbows move back, that's it. Feel the stretch. You might ripple those fingers. Now right hand, hip, front hip, catches that front hip, that right hip. We're going to find length on the far side as we reach up and then reaching out. Reaching up and reaching out. Reaching up and reaching out. We're halfway done. Reaching up and out. We got 2 more to go. Reaching up and out. Last 1. Reaching up and then reach, reach, reach. Now we're going to find revolved extended side angle so that back heel stays down. We start the twist with the wrist. We slide to the elbow. We find our prayer hands. As we press those palms together, scapula moves back and down as we open up front heart. A little lift to the chin as we open up the base of our throat. So 4th chakra, 5th chakra. Community, heart chakra. Communication, throat chakra. And just breathing into that. Nice, beautiful. Solidly grounded down to that back heel, strong back leg. From the strength of that leg, finding the foundation, find a little more twist. Coming out of our twist easily as we frame front foot with both hands. Now, if your hands find the floor, awesome. Big step in as we shorten our stance, big angle on the back foot for Parsvottanasana. If in this shape your hands don't easily reach the floor, you can always bring hands onto shin. Try to relax the neck and heavy the head, stretching the hamstring of that front leg as you push into the foot and draw the hip back. Try to relax the neck and heavy the head if you can. Yeah. A lot of times when we relax the neck, the pose gets shaky. An awesome antidote to that, antidote, to try squeezing the feet together without moving the feet. And that'll turn on the muscles of the legs. Once those muscles are turned on, you should find a little more stability. You can relax that neck a little bit more. Inviting more prana, more life force into our hips. We can move between warrior one hips and warrior two hips. Doesn't have to be a big movement. As we swing the hips out to the side and back front. Out and front. Also just 5 or 6 of these. I'm not going to cue them. Just being with your hips. Feel a little more liquid. A little more flowy in those hips. And then squaring the hips front and seeing if you can fold a little bit deeper now that you have a little more space in those hips. From here, let's find low lunge as we soften the front knee, taking a big step back. And from low lunge, back to down dog as you deep forwards. So we're going to move towards the swan pose. If the swan, that's also known as the pigeon, if having the weight of your body on your knee is not right for you this morning, you'll flip over onto your back and you'll find a figure 4 shape. And a lot of, most of us have probably done that on your back figure 4 shape. I'll demo in a sec, but otherwise that would be your option. From our down dog shape, big toes touch, heels slightly apart, finding a 3-legged dog, right leg to the sky, high on the left toes. Now stacking the hips. Now bending that leg, opening up that right hip. And then looking between the hands, you're going to sweep that right knee to right wrist. I like to keep the knee joint closed. You're going to walk the left leg back as you settle the hips on down. I like to unfurl the back foot to stretch out that place where toe and foot connect. Nice, beautiful. From here, maybe coming up onto tented fingertips to move the shoulder blades back and down. Leading with the heart, just like in the sun sails, arms in extension as you walk those hands forward. Slow, slow, slow. More length in the spine, not less. And then when you can no longer find extension of the spine, I'll invite you to relax the hands, bringing the forehead down towards the floor. If your forehead easily finds the floor with the arms in extension, awesome. Also, option might be to provide a little assistance with the cross of the forearms or a pair of soft fists. Again, making a choice that works for you. Let me demo that other shape. So the alternative would be to flip over on your back. You find this figure 4 shape. You thread the needle as you catch thigh or shin, and it is hanging out here. Whether you're on your back or in a prone position, I'll invite you to put your mind in your hips and think about drawing the hips away from the midpoint. They're not going to move. It's an action, not a movement. You find a little more space. You get a very subtle stretch in all those various muscles that make up. It's a lot more complicated than a hinge joint, but you might think of it as a hinge joint between lower and upper body. I mean, it's also a twist joint. It does all kinds of things. And that's why we want to keep it supple and young with movement and breath in our yoga practice. So one of my favorite places to twist is in the swan. So I'll invite you, if your arm's in extension, to walk your hands back. I'll invite you to find a perpendicular forearm on the bent knee side of things. Outrigger hand on the other side. We can pull back with that forearm. So pull, pull, pull. Let me go back a little bit so I'm in frame. As we start to find a little bit of a twist.
relatively good place to work with the low back. With this configuration of the legs, we've relatively stabilized the SI joint, the sacroiliac joint, where the legs join in to the sacrum. Having said that, any sharp pains or twinges, back off, don't do it as hard, or maybe just come out of the shape. Now we'll find the other perpendicular forearm, other outrigger hand. We'll pull back with that forearm as we stretch out that low back, turning our heart towards that outrigger hand. But again, any twinges, don't do it as much. Be kind to yourself. Why not? From here, let's come back center. Let's play with the flying swan a little bit. This is Kathy's new signature pose. It's been on Facebook more than once, advertising this class. Awesome, awesome, awesome. You might start with a low flying swan as you lift one hand and then the other. Or you're going to feel that zipping up between first and second chakra. That's that power place or center of balance as we stretch those hands high to the sky. Awesome, beautiful. From here, we spin the palms out. We ground down through two hands. We tuck the back toes. We lift that right leg high. Give that knee a shake, shake, shake. And then grounding it on down as we find our down dog and either cycling through vinyasa or just holding your down dog. Just coming back to an even breath and watching that breath as it flows in and out. I swear we're going to get to our second side. It's more of an extended sequence, so we're not going to do the swan on the second side right now. We're going to do that whole other thing first. Sometimes it gets a little confusing, so I just want to keep people's minds and hearts at ease. We will definitely get to that second side. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, looking between your hands as you step or take a jump front. Let's mix it up a little bit. Take a breath to find length. On the exhale, folding and holding. Now I'm about you to toe heel your feet out. Catching opposite elbows and gently swaying your body from side to side. Getting into those hips, your low back. If this feels great, awesome. Any tweaks or twinges, you could always work up higher, hands on thighs. Those of you with hands on elbows, switching across, keep swaying side to side. Again, you can always do it less. Always options. Treat yourself kindly. And let's do our low back a solid here. As we come to center, hands find the thighs. Everybody using the assistance of the push of the hands into the thighs as we roll ourselves on up. Lifting the chin tall to the crown. Feel free to do this with me. Ears over shoulders. Ears and shoulders over hips. Ears, shoulders, hips over heels as we stand tall and breathe. From here, let's jump it in, thin like a pin. How about that? That's from one of Kathy's story times. And we're going to do that Warrior 3 sequence, leading to the twist, leading to the hamstring stretch, leading to the swan on that second side. So hands find the hips. We're going to shift weight onto left foot. I'm going to step that right foot back. We're going to start to get ready to balance on that left foot. You don't have to get there all at once. We can lift the heel of that right foot. We can soften the left knee. And we can start to see what it's like to lift that foot on up. This could be your Warrior 3. Maybe you keep the foot lifted as you bend the knees, starting to crouch or sneak into the position. Challenging your balance as we move towards extension through two legs. Challenging your balance as we stretch hands towards that back foot is flexed. Again, you might have the hip of the lifted leg a little bit higher than the hip of the standing leg. Just don't sit in that hip so much. Arms can go out to the side, eagle arms. Maybe we stretch those hands in front. If the hands stretched in front, they can come back to the hips. We can ground that back foot for a short Warrior 1. Lengthening our Warrior 1 if appropriate. Finding the stretch that suits you this morning. Steering the hips front. Bird beak hands. One more time, steering the shoulders front. Finding that unusual clasp, pressing the head into the hands, open heart, open throat. And then finding a tray in front. Breathing in as we gather energy into our center of balance. On the exhale as we offer it out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. We got 3 more. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last 2. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last 1. Breathing in. Breathing out and holding. And again, this is a great go-to stretch anytime in your day, whether you're on a yoga mat in a yoga space or not. Elbows move back, the hands come with, rippling those fingers. Feels so good. Now left hand finds hip of the front leg. If you're on the other side, no worries. We'll find length on the far side as we reach up. And then reaching out. Reaching up. And reaching out. We'll do 6. Here's 3. Breathing in. Breathing out. Halfway done. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last 2. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last 1. Breathing in. Now we'll move towards revolved extended side angle. That back heel stays down. We reach, reach, reach. We start to twist with the wrist. We slide to the elbow. We find our prayer hands as we press those palms together. Shoulder blades moving back and in as we open up heart chakra. A little lift of the chin as we open up throat chakra. And easeful breaths into all of the chakras. But in a standing practice, I love these 2 chakras seem particularly predominant. In a headstand practice, it's more 6th and 7th. In a seated practice, it's more 1st, 2nd. There's always that 3rd chakra, which is your breath chakra, your power chakra. I don't talk about it too much, but that's because it's kind of the base to a movement practice. Another couple of breaths here, just thinking about that strong back leg, from the strength of that leg, finding a little more twist. And then coming out of the twist easily, as we frame front foot with both hands. Big step in as we move towards Parsvartanasana. Big angle on the back foot. Yeah, if your hands easily reach the floor without locking the knee, awesome. You could also bring hands onto shins. Wherever you're working, hard thing for many of us. Our necks work hard all day long. A lot of us are doing a lot of screen work now. So our necks, it's harder to say neck relax. So just say to yourself, you might even just say it out loud, neck relax, head heavy. You might add a little swing, a little sway, not too much, just releasing tension in the neck and shoulders, and just letting it drain down to the crown of the head, into the earth. Now moving, one of my teachers calls them the 4 gates, the 2 shoulders and the 2 hips. So we've got the top two gates, relaxed neck, relaxed shoulders. Actually, the neck's relaxed, but the shoulders are moving back and down, as you find more length in all sides of the neck. We're going to move to the other 2 gates, hip gates here, as we move between Warrior 1 hips and Warrior 2 hips, just swinging the hips out to the side and back front. I'll cue a couple, and then I'll just let you go. Just make sure it feels good. As we invite more prana, more life force into our hips, keeping them supple, keeping them moving, chasing away any tension, any congestion. And then squaring those hips front. As we find our low lunge, big step back, and from low lunge, back to down dog, as you will, either cycling through vinyasa, stretching straight back. And again, take your time, find your flow. Yeah, even in down dog, try to relax that neck and heavy the head. And the other option is to lengthen through all sides of the neck as you look back towards your navel. I think of a tennis ball in the sternum, lengthening up and over that tennis ball. Moving towards our swan pose, second side. And again, if it's not right for your knee, finding that figure 4 on your back. And I've already demonstrated that. I won't demonstrate it on this side, but you know how to get there. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Left leg high to the sky, high on the right toes. Now stacking the hips. Now bending that top leg, opening up that hip. And then looking between the hands, let's sweep that left knee to left wrist. I like to keep the knee joint closed, safer for the knee. Walking that other leg back, slow, 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 as we settle the hips down. Unfurling that back foot, and you want the foot right in line with the ankle. That's it. Beautiful. From here, I'll suggest tented fingertips, a little more space, as we open up heart chakra. Leading with the heart, just like in the sun sails, as you move the arms into extension, laying the spine down, or laying front spine down anyway. And then if your forehead comes to the floor with arms in extension, awesome. If you're in a studio or you have a brick hand, you could always use a brick. Another option might be that cross of the forearms or even a pair of soft fists. And here we are, stimulating sixth chakra, the brow, the third eye, our intuition, how we know things. Both we know things, how we know them, and we know things, and we're not quite sure how we know them. It's all in that sixth chakra, that brow chakra, the third eye. Whether you're on your back or in the prone position, putting your mind in your hips and stretching the hips away from the midpoint as we find more space in the very center of yourself. And they're not going to go anywhere. You'll get a nice, subtle stretch. Yeah, and Kathy's chosen to add a little wiggle, a little waggle. Why not? You ever see a dog or a cat do yoga? They're not doing yoga per se, but there's always generally kind of a fluidity. Except sometimes dogs can be absolutely still, as do cats and other animals. Well, that's also interesting too. How they're able just to totally let go. So let's find our twist, and we'll move towards the flying swan. So we've got our swan is taking a nap. We'll walk our hands on back, and let's find a forearm on the bent knee side of things, perpendicular. Outrigger hand, we pull back with that forearm as we stretch out our low back. Just holding it again. Any tweaks or twinges, please back off. Always following your own inner teacher, what's right and good for you. And that's the most important teacher in any room, in any place, in any space. Now finding that twist the other way, other perpendicular forearm, other outrigger hand, we pull back as we stretch it out any amount. Like a volume knob on a radio, it doesn't have to be the 10, it could be 7, it could be 8. It could be 1 or 2, or it could be 0, just working the pose in silence with no effort at all. Just letting ease and surrender do the work. Now moving towards our flying swan as we bring our hands center. We can play low flying swan as we lift our hands low, or maybe we stretch those hands high, feeling that low abdominal engagement. It's like a zipper of energy. And just breathing into the shape. Now spinning the palms out as we land the swan gracefully, tucking the back toes, finding your three-legged dog as you lift that closed knee joint high, give it a shape, and then finding your down dog shape, and either holding your down dog shape or one last opportunity to cycle through vinyasa this morning. Awesome, yeah. Maybe this last vinyasa is like flowing through molasses. Or molasses, when it hardens, does it become amber? Tree sap. The million-year vinyasa. There's one more hard pose I'm going to try to talk Kathy into finding this morning. So I'll invite her to find her down dog. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, looking between your hands as you step. Or maybe take that jump front. Again, let's change it up a little bit here. Breathing in, finding length. On the exhale, folding and holding. And let's go wide with our feet. And I'll invite you to bring right hand center. Left hand finds the hip as we start a twist. Left hand finds the shoulder. We stretch hand high. So forward fold twist here. Big breath into your back. Now left hand comes center. Right hand finds the hip, starting the twist. Now setting the shoulder. Now stretching hand high for a big breath into your back. From here, let's bring two hands down. And again, let's do our low back. That's solid as we bring hands onto our thighs. And we can roll ourselves up with the assistance of the push of the hands into the thighs. Lifting the chin tall through the crown. Again, feel free to do this with me. Ears over shoulders. Ears and shoulders over hips. Ears, shoulders, hips over heels as we stand tall. From here, let's jump it in thin like a pin. And then let's jump it back out hip width apart. And let's maybe play with our Bakasana. So we're going to bend the knees a lot. You might angle the toes out just a tad for a low or half squat. If your knees find the armpits, awesome. Otherwise, knees are going to hug the upper arms like crazy. We're going to shift the weight into the hands as we float either one or both feet. You might play with one foot, you might play with the other. Awesome. Hug, hug, hug. You get the slippery pajamas on. And then from this place, either landing or unfolding the legs back, we'll all meet in our down dog. You hard chargers, maybe cycle through vinyasa. I swore that last one was the last one, but this is the last one after the last one. From our down dog shape, I'll invite you to find a child's pose. And Kathy's already there. In our child's pose, I'll suggest arms in extension, just nestling your belly between your thighs. Let your belly massage your thighs. Let your thighs massage your belly. As we connect with that big ball of warmth in the very center of our center. From here, let's walk the hands in as we bring our feet off to one side. I'll suggest a little knee therapy, a hand on each side. Fingers find the back of the knee, giving that kneecap a little wiggle. Knee therapy, other side. Fingers find the back of the knee. We give that kneecap a little wiggle. From here, let's do a long, slow roll down onto our backs. Make sure you got some room overhead. We'll do a full body stretch, and then we'll find our Shavasana. Starting from tall spine or neutral spine, back of the head in line with the sacrum. Tucking tail and chin as we find our C-spine, and slowly lay each vertebrae down. When we get down, full body stretch, arms by the ears, but not too low. We want to keep the ribs soft and drawing in. As we point fingers and toes, big breath in. And then on your exhale, sweeping your hands to your sides, widening your thighs, scooting the head back as you flatten your shoulders. Doing whatever else feels right and good for you. This morning, tip of the tongue now neutral in the mouth. A slight part to the lips, but still breathing in and out through your nose. We'll be here a couple minutes, not too long, doing whatever else was right and good for you. I'll grab my yoga bells. As we hold our Shavasana, initially focusing on the breath, but as we hold the shake a little bit longer, even letting that focus soften as we bring our senses inside. At home, feeling free to hold your Shavasana as long as you'd like. For the purposes of this space, I'm going to ring these bells once. Moving your minds before you move your bodies. Bring your attention back to your breath, watching as it flows in and out. Now shaping your breath with a long, slow inhalation, matched by a long, slow exhalation. And I'll invite you to have that exhalation be a little bit longer, a little bit slower than the inhalation as we find a more relaxing breath. Now inviting prana into our bodies as we gently ripple fingers and toes. Now inviting that prana in towards center as we gently circle wrists and ankles. Moving towards Apanasana as we draw one knee at a time in towards our heart. Hands catch our shins, using our thighs to massage our low belly as we gently lift and lower our low back and hips. Any other movement that feels right and good for you, go for it. Now rolling to the right, long to the right arm, sharing a breath here. I'll invite you to let it sigh out through your mouth, softening shoulders, relaxing jaw, softening corners of eyes. And the neck relaxed, face soft as we press on up, finding a cross-legged seat. Take your time. As we sit, I'll invite you to bring your hands onto your knees, pulling back with your hands to sit up a little straighter, a little taller. A slight tuck of the chin as 5 fingers of one hand find the ground. The palm of the other hand faces the sky. Ending our practice as we started, watching as our breath flows in and as our breath flows out. From this place of breath awareness, I invite you to bring your hands to your hearts and bow as you thank yourselves for practicing yoga and as we offer our practice out to each other and to the world. The light within me honors and respects the light within you, and in this light, we are one. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you for practicing with us. Thank you, Kathy, for practicing with me. And we'll see everybody next time, virtually or live. I'm teaching here in San Francisco. If you have a chance to get down to the Bay Club, we've got some nice spaces, nice safe spaces to do some yoga. And we'll see everybody soon. Have a nice day. Namaste. I can't see the arrow. It's so bright. There it is.